Good morning, truth. This morning, I want to talk to you about humility. Just briefly, I want to exalt the spirit of humility. And when I think about humility, I can't help but to think about the circumstances that surrounded Jesus' first miracle. See, Jesus, his disciples, and his mother were all invited to a wedding. And at the reception of the wedding, Jesus' mother comes over to him and says, "They're out of wine." And Jesus' response was, "What business is that of ours?" See, in Jesus' mind, he's thinking, I'm not throwing this party. I'm not the bride. I'm not the groom. I'm not the father of the bride. I'm not the father of the groom. What business is this of ours? His mother, knowing that even though he thought that his time had not come for him to be exalted in the eyes of God in such a miraculous way. See, just like mothers do, sometimes we see more in our children than they do. We understand the timing of certain things in their life better than they do. So Mary didn't take all of what Jesus was saying seriously, and she just went ahead and she told the servants, do whatever he tells you to do. And nearby stood 6 stone water jars. The scripture says the kind that was used by Jews for ceremonial washings and holding from anywhere from 20 to 30 gallons. And Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." The scripture tells us, so the servants filled the jars to the brim. Then Jesus told them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." And they did so. And the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. I want to pause right there. And I want you to understand what is going on in the scripture. See, because back in those days, when you threw a banquet, when you threw a wedding reception, when you threw a party, it was considered an utter disgrace to run out of food, to run out of wine. The master of the banquet did not know where this wine had came from, because Jesus did not take it upon himself to seek any credit for turning that water into wine. The scripture goes on to tell us that then the master of the banquet called to the bridegroom, and he said, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink. But you have saved the best till now." Understand that Jesus' miracle of turning water into wine covered and protected the bride and the bridegroom from humiliation. Not only that, you can best believe it shifted the trend of how wine was served at a banquet of this magnitude. The scripture goes on to tell us that what Jesus did here in Galilee was the first of the signs through which he revealed his glory. And his revelation of his glory in the turning of the water to wine also strengthened his disciples' faith in him. Humility is something that we all need to grasp. In 1 Peter 5 and 6, the scripture tells us, "Humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you." Jesus did not think that it was his time to be exalted, but his mother, a godly woman, understood that this act of humility would shift the time frame and God would exalt him to walk in the glory that was given him. When we humble ourselves and put others' needs before ours, when we humble ourselves and shut down the spirit of selfishness, when we humble ourselves and give from our heart, when we humble ourselves and be intentional about helping another, expecting nothing in return, expecting not to be exalted, not to receive any accolades. The scripture says at the proper time, God will exalt you. Now I want you to understand, an exaltation by God may never get you the accolades of man. But just know that when God exalts you, he's positioning you for bigger, for greater, for better. And I want to tell you this morning, a lot of us make a habit of seeking the accolades of people. And when you seek the accolades of people and they give it to you, God says, okay, they have their reward. But when you do something out of your heart, not expecting anything, God is charged to reward you. And I can tell you this, that the reward from God is greater than any reward, any accolade that man can provide. I urge each of you over the next 24 hours to be intentional about walking in the spirit of humility, to be intentional about helping another, to be intentional about giving to another, expecting nothing in return. Just over the next 24 hours, try it. And I can assure you that many of you under the sound of my voice, if you just try it with a humble heart, you will have a testimony that will blow your mind. My only request is that you share that testimony with us, that you go on our website and you share your testimony. And I'll be more than happy to exalt it before the people. The testimony of the goodness of God, the testimony of God honoring his word, the testimony of the power of humility. Remember, when you start your day with truth, blessings throughout the remainder of the day is inevitable.
Just let me follow behind. I don't want to have a proudful look. Help me be lowly and kind. I want to live a life that's pleasing in your sight. Lord, keep me humble, humble. I don't have to be the forest, a bit of grass will do. Don't let me be unkind to those I love. Help me be gentle like you.
I want to live a life that's pleasing.
I want to be pleasing
Your side.